Hello and welcome to another episode on FM Campbell. Today I'm going to be looking at how I search for players on FM14. You're more than welcome to follow this, or you can also use your own sort of techniques and stuff. But this is just a key idea of how I tend to look for players. I am Manchester United for the sake of this video. I will try to stir it up a little bit and change teams and things like that. But this is just a general video of how I search for players. So I go up here, next to your name there's a drop down box where I go search and then players. So this will bring up all players available to you. One thing I always tend to tick or untick is this button here, which is unrealistic transfers. So this is basically an opinion of your assistant manager. So this all depends on the attributes of your assistant manager. This isn't always 100% accurate. Of players that he thinks would be realistic or unrealistic targets for whoever you are managing at the moment. It's Manchester United. So, for instance, he thinks that Marek Hamsik would be a realistic target. So going forward, you could potentially sign him. He could be wrong. He could be right. This is where it sort of counteracts and balances up. So if we click that, it should bring up players like Messi and yep, there we go. So Messi, Bale, and Ronaldo. It's in order of their value. You can play with these to change different things. So if I wanted to look at younger players and go from Ryan McKechnie, who plays for Alloa in Scotland, who's 15 years old, or we can go the other way, Rene van der Brink, who's currently unattached, is not with a club, plays on the right wing. He actually plays anywhere, but he's predominantly on the right wing, I would say. 47 years old. So you can understand why he's not with a club. So for the sake of it, we'll go with value. How I search for players. First of all, I would recommend changing this here. This is your filters that pop up and appear here. So at the minute it's general info. So you've got position, club, their nationality, their height, weight, their age and value. But you can actually change this and you can remove columns. So I can remove, for instance, I don't want to know about their weight, for example, so I'll remove that column. Simple as that. And I can always put it back in. I can insert the column and I can go to their, I think it's general. Yep, and is it in here? Nope. It might, where are you? Coaching? Fitness. Where is the weight gone? Weight, physical and weight. So I can put it back in and then I can always pop it back in where it was. Pretty straightforward. I tend to look at the attributes, so I go and click on this drop down box here, and I go to the technical. So this is their technical abilities. So this essentially, if I go to Messi, is these attributes here. So they pop up, and you can have, if you wanted to, you could do the mental, which are these. Or you can do the physical, which are these ones here. I go back and I do attributes and go to physical. That brings them up. And then when you obviously search for goalkeepers, basically if I go technical and I go down, there will eventually be a blank one. So Joe Hart, because he's a goalkeeper. So I can go attributes and I can go to goalkeeping, and that will bring up the goalkeeping technical attributes. So this will be his goalkeeping attributes here. Going forward, what I tend to do though is I have the technical one, and then I add a column, which is something that I tend to look for in a player quite often. So I will go to the mental and I look at their determination. So that pops up down here, because I do like my players to be quite determined and their work rate to be quite high. Well, their work rate's not as essential for younger players. Younger players is more the determination. It's basically how determined they are to actually strive to succeed, I suppose, and improve themselves as a player. So that's how I tend to lay things out. Then you have these options up here. So you can add a condition. So you can filter out a condition of a player that you're looking for. So for this aspect, we know Man United are quite sort of weak in the centre midfield area. They never really replaced Paul Scholes, which is my personal opinion. So I will tick the unrealistic. Actually, we'll leave it off for now. And I will go and look for, so we'll go to position. can play in centre midfield or midfield centre. So these are the players. So you can see already Manchester United targets, or previous targets. Fabregas they apparently looked at. Thiago's in there, but they will disappear because they have recently signed for new clubs. So no Thiago, no Fabregas, they've now disappeared. So we'll keep that unticked for now. If we wanted to replace a Paul Scholes, I would go and think about. So we looked at the position. I would look at, and I would do attribute. Paul Scholes is one of the best passers in the game. So we'll go to passing, and we'll have it. It always brings up 15. Always starts generically at 15. So I tend to pop it up or down depending on what I'm looking for. And we'll go 18. So again, so Fabregas and Thiago were both in there. The other one that Paul Scholes was always quite good for was his first touch. So we'll go first touch, and we'll put that at 17, perhaps 18. Yeah, that'll be great. Again, Fabregas and Thiago are in there. Perhaps that's FM, they just know what they're talking about. Iniesta, obviously, Barcelona players will be in there, Xavi will be in there, Fabregas, obviously. Toni Kroos is a cheeky one as well. If I then wanted to look at their age, simply add their age. Player that's at most 25. So simple again. So these players are, sorry, at most, we want to change to 25, yep. So Thiago, Toni Kroos, Evan Banega, Nuri Sahin and Milan Badelj. So these are players that the game's generically brought for me. If we click on realistic, see who it leaves with us. These are ones my assistant manager, so who Steve Round believes I can get, but I normally change my assistant manager, so this may change. So they recommend that I should get him, Evan Banega or Milan Badelj, and that's how it's done. So you can play around with these as much as you want to sort of suit the player that you're trying to find. So if you wanted to find youth players, they're not going to have passing that's that high, so we'll put it back down to 12, and we'll put this down to 12 as well. And we'll put it up a little bit just to sort of narrow it down a bit. And one thing I do as well is I tend to click on these here to put the best passes in here. So let's have a look. We'll untick unrealistic. So there's a player here that's under the age of 17. Physicals aren't great, but his technicals are through the roof. So if we can improve his mental and his physical, which you probably could, he's only worth 15.25k. I'd go and scout him. I'd get one of my scouts to scout him. He would come back through in a few days' time with a report from one of my scouts to believe of how they think he'll do and how they think he'll progress. And if I like him, I'd look into signing him. So yeah, like I said, you can play around with these as much as you want. You could play around with your filters down here as well. I tick and untick these boxes based on your assistant's opinions. Don't forget to check out the the Twitter channel. You can follow us here at FM Campbell. I'll be regularly updating that and trying to get as much interaction with you guys as possible. Please like the video, subscribe. Let me know how you get on. If you have any problems, feel free to ask any questions or any tips or things that you do differently. Put it in the comment section below. If there's anything you'd like me to look at, feel free to again put it in the comment section below, and we'll go from there. Like I said, my name's Tom, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.